So the first thing, one of the things to talk about is how you view marriage life. You can ask her, or she asks you, you ask him, how do you view marriage life? What's marriage life to you? How do you envision marriage? What's marriage to you? How do you see a husband to be and a wife? How do you think their relationship should be? What is marriage life to you? What is family marriage life? How do you see it? You can start by saying, you can say, for example, I grew up thinking of marriage in, that it's like this, and I look at my parents and this is the view I have about marriage. Sometimes opening this up will entice the other person to project and to mirror you and to sort of talk as well. So talking about marriage life is a discussion that you need to bring up some way or another and start your conversations. Of course, sentence starters around that topic, and then you branch off and you have a nice conversation. Another time you can talk about a second thing, and I think these are crucial points. A second one is, what qualities would you like to see in a spouse? Or you might start with yourself and say, qualities I like to see in a spouse. That people always ask me this question. They say, what qualities do you like to see in a spouse? So you can see how I'm talking right now to you. It's very casual. Don't make the person feel intimidated or anything like that. Try as much as you can. And then she or he will say, what do you like seeing in a spouse? Because they're also ready to know too, right? And you say, well, this is what I like in a spouse. I like to see this or that. And they talk about the things that you like to see. Every person is different. And then the other person will talk to you. So that's another topic to ask and talk about. Number 3, you need to talk about each other's family dynamics. You have to bring family and culture into it. We don't have this Hollywood movie where it's just Romeo and Juliet. Oh, they ended up killing each other. We're going to talk about a Hollywood movie where in the end they live happily ever after and they walk together in the sunset as if there's no one in the entire world but them two. Subhanallah, them two and the sunset. No, when you get married, just two people get married, families are coming together, cultures are coming together. Sometimes even whole tribes are coming together, depending on where you're coming from. So you're coming to the whole marriage and to the whole family. You need to know who you're dealing with, the in-laws, the family. You're going to have children, inshaAllah. Those children, they want their grandparents, they want their uncles and aunts. You've got to look at family. What's the dynamics in your family? And while you're talking about that, talk about how do you get along with your family? What's your relationship with your mum and dad, your siblings? You can start talking about yourself. Say, gosh, I've got a brother, we are so close. Me and my sisters, we're to talk about that and open these discussions, talk about culture. I remember once I did a marriage for a couple and the sister, the wife, said to me, brother, what's this? I said, what? She's got a baby with her and another child over there. I'm thinking, here we go. She said, I never knew that every Wednesdays we have to go to his father's house for a barbecue. So he never talked about this before. He never knew. He goes, no, every Wednesdays. He goes, we'll have to go every Wednesdays to his father. He turns around and goes, brother, ask her. Wallahi, from day one we got married. Every Fridays we have to be at her father's house. I said, so what? So what if you go? Don't you love your husband? Yes. Don't you love your wife? He goes, why did you do it? He says, for her. Why do you do it? She goes, oh, for him. I said, all right, well then, alhamdulillah, that's what marriage is about. It's about giving and taking. Give a little bit of yourself. He gives a little bit of himself. You have to compromise a little bit. Some things you might be uncomfortable with. For the sake of your marriage, do it. That's what marriage is about. But anyway, you got to talk about these things. Culture. One brother said, I have this, a lot of brothers, they talk about this, subhanAllah, and that's another question, and that is about living arrangements. Living arrangements and family dynamics are very close. Some cultures are very strict and they put pressure on the son that he and his wife, the daughter-in-law, must live with their parents. And this is a very hot topic for a lot of people. And I can tell you outright, brothers and sisters, that Islam does not recommend for couples to live, for the husband to pressure his wife in living with his parents or with anybody else. A wife has a right to her own dwelling, to her own little dwelling, even if it's in the back. Let's say there's a granny flat. The point is, it's her own. She has her own privacy, her own home. That's the therapy for a wife. And to make her home nice, and she's the queen of the house. She does whatever she wants. Brothers and sisters, it's actually oppression and zulm. zulm in Islam to pressure or force the wife to live with your parents. Some people might say, but what if we're in financial difficulty? I say to you, that's why you have the period of engagement. You need to talk about these. These are crucial points to talk about. You must talk and agree on them, and right from the beginning. Very important, brothers and sisters. I've seen many fights happen between mother-in-law, daughter-in-law. Sometimes she wants to put a hijab on. Maybe if she doesn't wear the hijab, she can't feel comfortable. The brothers come in, the brother-in-laws come in, sometimes the sister-in-laws. Everybody visits. It's the parents' house. She has no privacy. Sometimes they clash. Mum wants, to organize the house this way. She can't do anything. They clash. Brothers and sisters, this is important to know, inshallah. Have good conversations with your parents. Wallah, I see this all the time happening. Tears, cries, tension, separation and divorce as a result of not talking about living arrangements and dynamics of family and all that. My brothers and sisters, some people, they say to me, but if we talk about that, it's too tense, we start fighting. I said, it's better fighting now than when you get into your marriage and fight. That's the whole point of engagement. That's the whole point of meeting and talking. Right, let's move on to another one. How you each spend your free time. So, what are your hobbies? Do you do community service work? Do you like going to the movies? Do you watch things? Do you like going on Netflix? Do you like going on social media? Do you have Facebook? What do you do? What pictures do you like putting on? These are very important to talk about in this day and age. You might even talk about what's cheating to you when it comes to social media. It's very important. Some people are very, very sensitive about this point. So discuss these matters about social media, what you like and dislike, and they can talk to you as well. We move on. Finances. You must open a way to talk about finances. If you can't talk together, talk with her father as a man, or talk with the brother, or maybe get someone else to talk with her or someone else to talk with him. But you must talk about financial arrangements. Maybe as you get more comfortable to talk, inshallah, later on, you can talk about financial management. For example, work, managing the money. Is it your money and my money together? Or is it your money is my money and my money is my money is my money? Let me repeat that. Is it your money and my money together? Or is it your money and my money? Or is it your money is my money and my money is my money? Is that how it goes? Yeah. It doesn't matter which one you want to go with, so long as you agree. Have fun, whatever you like. I'm not going to tell you whose money to. But honestly, I just want to say something. That word, your money, when in Islam, I've even heard speakers say this, and everybody claps for them. Yay! Look, in Islam, they say, how many rights the woman has, they say. It's true, they have a lot of rights. They have equal rights to men. Equal, but not exactly the same, but they are equal in number. However, they come and tell you, look at the woman, her money is her money, and his money is her money. Ha ha ha, everybody claps. That's not true. I'll tell you it's not true. That's not what Islam says. What Islam says is, her money is her money. That is true. But not all of his money is her money. Part of it, and it's not money. What the husband has to do is that he must provide for his wife and his children all their needs of living, shelter, clothing, food, protection, security, their needs. He is responsible for their needs and their livelihood. Depending on how generous he is, the more generous he is, the better of a husband he is. That's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He praises a husband who's generous. Which, by the way, you need to talk about finances. You'll understand how generous the person is, how they spend their money. Are they good at finances? Are they not? And this is a very crucial point to understand these dynamics. So, brothers and sisters, he is responsible, part of his wealth, to go onto his family, but not all of it. Same with the wife. Wife keeps her money. Moving on, just on the side point, I remember a couple, they were arguing about money, and the sister said, if my husband lends someone money, should he tell me? Should I know? Should I know where the money is going? I said, look, this is an agreement between you two, but in my opinion, you should know as a wife. Why? Because sometimes you don't know who's going to die, and there's inheritance properties. Doesn't the wife need to know what's going on, what's happening? For example, she has a right to part of that wealth if there was inheritance. So if a person has a trusting wife and a trusting husband, and trust is the first thing, there's nothing wrong with talking about money and wealth and so on. Trust is very important. Before you get married to someone, you need to know if you can trust this person. So that's why you talk about these matters. If there is no trust, there is no relationship. As you can see, you're not happy, you're too scared to show your finances, you're too scared to go and come, you're too scared to do anything because you don't trust each other. So trust, transparency, time, talking, and tolerance is important in a marriage, the 5 T's.